glasses. Give me a second. Give me a minute. Be right back. Yeah, I just sent it over to you. So you should have it in your email. You should have it in your email. Yep. Yep. I just sent it over to you, brother. Yeah. Too hot, baby. Gotta run for shelter. Gotta run to get paid. Too hot, it's too hot, baby. Gotta run for shelter. Gotta run to get paid. Peace, 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 peace. Hope everybody having a good day today on this Tuesday. Got a lot done real early. Had a little interview with one of my nobles. We had a little technical difficulties, but we're going to get it going on. It's going to be real illuminating. This journey of self and wisdom for the world can see. But I hope everybody having an amazing day. But let's get to the teachings, man. I had the privilege in my academia endeavors to lecture on college campuses and to be able to lecture at different Masonic houses out here in Arizona and different religions that's not misnomer black. I've been able to lecture at Jewish synagogues with a lot of my professors that's potentates that may not be the same color as I am, but understand this wisdom and this science. And it's just a privilege to be welcome in houses, especially in the houses that people don't look like me, but understand the wisdom that I exude. I tell a lot of us brothers and sisters, especially melanated brothers and sisters, we are lost due to a lack of knowledge. And Carter G. Woodson said that it's the miseducation of the Negro. So if you understand that it's a miseducation of the Negro, and you have a brother that's educated, not only in early academia, but also educated, anointed, and consecrated with knowledge of self, why wouldn't we want to be a part of that? As I was doing my academia endeavor, especially a lot of my professors that's European Masons and potentates and Jewish rabbis, every one of them knew exactly who Noble Drew Ali is. I know so many Europeans that wrote of Noble Drew Ali, like Spencer Dew. It's a European professor that I had the privilege to meet that teach at a theology school. His name is Spencer Dew. He wrote a book called The Aliites. Just like when I talk about Peter Moon Peter Moon wrote a book, Expound Do Mystery, have our prophet right on the cover. Adam Blavatsky and so many other people give their science to our prophet Noble Drew Ali. And it's just funny that a lot of our own melanated people would diss our own educators and our scholars. We would talk about H.P. Blavatsky and G.I. Grudev, but then are you aware of the teacher who was credited with laying the foundation for the spread of more science, Islam of self, in the misnomer black community? And they will tell you that in the early 20th century, it was Noble Drew Ali. They'll tell you. All the European Masons that I met out here in Arizona, that I show y'all, that I show on my Instagram, I did whole lectures, I show videos of the European Masonic Masons giving credit to Noble Drew Ali. And so then when you start dealing with our own people, you start to wonder, wait a minute, what's going on? Why are you not talking about Noble Drew Ali? Why are we not talking about knowledge of self? Why the Freemasons and the Al-Islam Muslim or the Nation of Islam don't talk about it? But then I can show you films of Founders Day when not Elijah Muhammad, but Farrakhan give credit to Noble Drew Ali, bringing Islam, the type of Islam, the knowledge of self, here in North America. Why then? So what's the confusion? It's a big confusion because they want to keep us as slaves mentally with the slave connotations of Negro, Black, and colored, and African American. That's why. And that's a fact. That's a fact. I've lectured to professors and fact-check professors in academia, especially when they talk about some Willie Lynch letter. And I say, that's not even real. I say that's pseudo and Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. If it was a such thing called a Willie Lynch letter, it will be in the Library of Congress. But the powers that be will let Negroes believe anything. And then our own teachers and college professors will promulgate that BS. Just like when I talk about Alex Haley, Roots, that's fake. Alex Haley plagiarized Roots from a European named Harold Colander. It's a book called The African. A European named Harold Colander wrote that book. And Alex Haley plagiarized it because these, no disrespect, these Negroes and these Hollywood actors, they think most black people is stupid. No disrespect. That's why Malcolm X said, why would we let these entertainers be the ones that teach us instead of the scholars and the educators and the ones that done the work? I've done these lectures on the college campus, and my professor, which is a Jewish European potentate, which is 32 degrees, I'm 99, so I teach a lot of them. He said, I don't know why misnomer black people think it's some stupid Willie Lynch letter. You had rappers write a rap about the Willie Lynch letter, Talib Kweli, all these brothers wrote books talk about some Willie Lynch. It's no such thing as no Willie Lynch. Why would you kill your chattel that makes you money? Black was not even used to describe ethnicity in the first century. Black was only used to describe in the theater when the black curtain comes down. No such thing as no Willie Lynch. And the average Negro heard about this Willie Lynch thing in 1995 when Farrakhan spoke on that at the Million Man March. And I'm here to tell you, all false. It's all false. And then we have professors in misnomer African American studies and these so-called black universities, and they have that as, how can I say it, selected reading and prerequisites in academia classes. And I'm telling you, there's no such thing as no Willie Lynch. I've done this in academia. The powers that be let Negroes have that. They say, if y'all believe this, let you have it. But if it was a Willie Lynch letter, you would be able to find it in the Library of Congress. And it's not one. The whole Lynch story is fake. I lectured it. I told y'all about it. I did whole lectures on it about it's no such thing as Willie Lynch. Did whole lectures, gave all the documents on the college campus to show you it's no such thing as a Willie Lynch. The language don't even match. I even got the books, the documents to show you the historicalness of it's no such thing as Willie Lynch. But we'll let these so-called religious figures get up, no disrespect to Farrakhan, at the Million Man March and tell you about some stupid Willie Lynch and why misnomer black people is this and that. And the Willie Lynch is fugazi. And I challenge any so-called historian, any so-called preacher, or any Nation of Islam brother to sit up here and say the Willie Lynch letter is real. And then I pull out all documents that I've did a plethora of times, that I've done on academia a plethora of times, that I've done in African American study, have professors look stupid. You have misnomer black professors, and that's supposed to be program reading and selected reading as prerequisite to get you mentally blocked in slavery, talking about some stupid Willie Lynch letter. And I told a professor, which was a misnomer African American woman, why would you have these kids read some fake letter? Made her start crying, made all the students challenge everything she was saying, and she had to quit. Why? Because the misnomer black students stopped taking their classes. Destroyed that Negro-centric propaganda in 1.2 seconds. No such thing as no Willie Lynch letter. And Farrakhan knew that. No disrespect. He knew that at the Million Man March. If he didn't know that, shame on him. Shame on him. And I have all the documents. I'll lecture this over and over and over and show misnomer black people that it's no such thing as no stupid Willie Lynch letter. I don't care about no rapper rapping no Willie Lynch, about Talib Kweli rapping some Willie Lynch. It's fake. Those brothers not no educators. Those the ones that promulgate that black stuff down your throat. Just like when you watch Roots and black people be thinking that's some history. Roots was plagiarized from a book called The African by a European Freemason named Harold Colander. Research the book. It's called The African. I have them all. I have a full library. He plagiarized everything and got sued for it. Just like when you talk about some Anunnaki, Zachariah Stitchin, and I tell you all that is pseudo. When you talk about the Anunnaki is some alien, it's all false. My Mufti that's on my Facebook page right now, because I'm on 3 of my platforms. It's a Greek restaurant up the street with all the pictures of the Iberian, and that you think is Anunnaki, with the beards, with the fez, with the garments on, with their tunic or their kuthra, cotton or silk, with the stash. I asked him a question. I said, "Who is that?" He laughed. He said, "Sheik, you know who it is." And my Mufti is on my Facebook page now. I got all the pictures. He was like, "That's you, the Moor, the Iberian." He like, "That's you." But we let these people that's written books, that's pseudo, that you won't even fact check, talk about the Anunnaki is some alien. Zachariah Stitchin, another European Freemason, no disrespect, lower level science that just wrote pseudoscience. Even with Behold the Pale Horse, they part of the Philosophical Society, Research Society, which I'm part of. That's why I can talk like this. And they know it was all fugazi. And anybody, a Negro, black, or colored, or any educator that think they know something, I bet you they can't challenge what I'm saying, because they know I'm telling you the truth. Because the European Freemason would tell. All my professors are European Freemasons, lower level potentates. Just like the video I showed on YouTube with the European Freemason giving credit to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. The same way when I speak like this on college campus, all my professors know what I'm saying. Everyone. So shame on misnomer black people and so-called black professors that'll sit up there and lie to you in your face. And like you can't challenge them. I challenged them all and graduated from Grand Canyon University with honors. With honors. With honors. So I'm going to break a little science down about white by law and the legal construction of race. The legal construction of race when I talk about white by law. And in the first words on the subject of citizenship, Congress in 1790 restricted naturalization to white persons. What's your nationality? Moorish American. What's your race? I agree as Asiatic. I know about everything else. What's my status? Free white. These is keys. If you don't know that, I'm not here to argue and debate with no Negro. I'm not here to do that. I'm not going to waste my time with someone that calls himself African American, a black, Negro, and all those are misnomers, synonymous to slave. And then you talk about some reparations, and I'm down with reparations, but a Negro, a black, a color, or African American is not finna get no reparations. The only people that'll get reparations for misnomer black people is the people that created you. These are facts. And through these requirements of naturalization change frequently. Thereafter, this racial prerequisite, just like I showed y'all the forgotten cause of the Civil War, if you had a tittle of black blood in you, you was a Negro. Mulatto, all that. They didn't know the distinction. That's why you had white slaves and white cargo. All the books that I talk about, they were white and they were slaves. White cargo. I lecture all this stuff in academia. And this racial prerequisites to citizenship endured for over a century and a half, remaining in force until 1952, from the earliest years of this country until just a generation ago. Being a white person was a condition for acquiring citizenship. That's like the Dred Scott Law. Negroes had no rights. The European had to abide by. And that's still valid today. It was on jeopardy. When Alex Trebek asked the lady, what's the law that blacks have no freedom and no rights today? The European lady easily answered, oh, that's the Dred Scott Law. Ding, ding, ding. Whether one was white, however, was often no easy question. As immigration reached record heights at the turn of the century, countless people found themselves arguing their racial identity in order to naturalize. Just like before Abraham Lincoln was a president, he was an attorney, and he defended the Moore in court, researched the Spencer and Dungy case, because it was illegal to be a Negro, black, or color. It was illegal for a Negro to own land. It was illegal for you to marry. Research the science, what I'm telling you. We've been lied to. We've been hoodwinked by our own professors, by our own scholars, by our own preachers, and our so-called own teachers. When they talk about, oh, there's some white man education. That's a lie. I got the same education that the professors have. And everything I'm talking about is in the libraries, collecting dust. It ain't no thing as no African-American history. That's slave history. You got to go into the first century and the medieval times. You got to go into first century and the medieval times. You got to go into European history. And all the books is there on the library, collecting dust. Just like the War of Ferdinand and Isabella. Everything I talk about is in the libraries. Everything. Just like when we talk about the Battle of Bunker Hill, and I showed you how they whitewashed Peter Salmon and Oliver Cromwell out of the picture of the Battle of Bunker Hill. I debated that. The book that they give to college students and misnumbered black people, the book that I showed y'all in 1776, the Battle of Bunker Hill, where they whitewashed Peter Salmon and Oliver Cromwell out of the picture. I lectured this on a college campus, and professors was quiet in the church mouse. They couldn't say nothing. And I know you can't, because I have the documents and the history. I'm an educator and a scholar, and I'm full of the Holy Spirit. We've been lied to by our own teachers, by these religious people, by these Freemasons, and by even a lot of those Al-Islam Muslims, especially those ones that preach some Willie Lynch at the Million Man March. And I told you all that's fake. All of it's fake. The Willie Lynch is fake. Roots is fake. Fake, 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 fake. And it's been proven a plethora of time from scholarship. And I was able to do this on college campuses with European professors. And you can hear a pin drop. From 1907, when the federal government began collecting data on naturalization, until 1920, over 1 million people gained citizenship under the racially restrictive naturalization laws. Many more sought to naturalize and were rejected. Naturalization rarely involved formal court proceedings, and therefore usually generated few, if any, written records beyond the simple decision. However, a number of cases construing the white person prerequisite reached the highest state and federal judicial circles, and two were argued before the U.S. Supreme Court in early 1920. The cases produced illuminating published decisions that documents that efforts of would-be citizens from around the world to establish their whiteness at law. Applications from Hawaii, China, Japan, Burma, and the Philippines, as well as mixed races applicants, failed in their argument. Conversely, courts ruled that applicants from Mexico and Armenia were white, but vacillated over the whiteness of the petitioners from Syria, India, and Arabia. Seen as a taxonomy of whiteness, these cases are instructive because they reveal the impressions and contradictions inherent in the establishment of racial lines between whites and non-whites. It is on the level of taxonomical practice, however, that these cases are most intriguing. The individual who petitioned for naturalization forced the courts into a case-by-case struggle to define who was a white person. More importantly, the courts were required in these prerequisite cases to articulate rationales for the divisions they were creating. And you still call yourself a Negro, black, and color, and a slave? I'm down with reparations. But a Negro, a black, a color, or African American, you would never get reparations. I don't care how many shirts that you come out with reparations now. I don't care how many lectures they have on TV with Cornel West and all them talking about your freedom is connected to blackness. And I look at that professor in his face and say, you a liar and ain't no truth in you. Your freedom is not connected to no stupid blackness. Your freedom is connected to your nationality, your race, and your status. The Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, tells you that you have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. No one will be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. And the claim a child replaces the birth certificate. This is law. And can't nobody disagree with what I'm saying. But we have all those shows with these entertainers and these rappers and these professors that know the truth but won't tell you. That be sincerely wrong because they play on our intelligence. Just like my professor said, it only take you 15, 20 minutes to break down the law, to break down 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, to break down manumissions, to break down what white by law mean, to break down status. And they couldn't say nothing. Not one professor can say nothing. They couldn't say nothing because we've been put back in slavery by our own people that look like us. These are facts. Beyond simply issuing declarations in favor of or just or against a particular applicant, the courts, as exponents of the applicable law, had to explain the basis on which they drew the boundaries of whiteness. When you research Abraham Lincoln before he was a president and he defended the Moore in court, the Spencer and Dungy law, research that case, the Spencer and Dungy, when Abraham Lincoln defended the Moore in court. Research what I'm telling you and then come back and ask some questions. I break down all law. I break down all Constitution. I would never let nobody call me Negro, black, or color, or African American. To me, that's anti-Semitic. And then that word anti-Semitic, I'll show you where it came from. From education. The courts had to establish by law whether, for example, a petitioner's race was to be measured by his skin color, facial features, national origin, language, culture, ancestry. The speculations of scientists, popular opinion, or some combination of these factors. Moreover, the courts also had to decide which of these or other factors would govern in the inevitable cases where the various indices of race contradicted one another. In short, the courts were responsible for deciding not only who was white, but can no one arbitrarily explain who you are? Can't no court tell you who you are? I just broke down the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. You have a right of a nationality and a right to change it, and the claim a child replaces the birth certificate. No one will be arbitrarily denied a nationality and the right to change it, and the claim a child replaces the birth certificate. So arbitrary mean can't no one sit up here and tell you who you are. No court, not me, not no stupid Morris Science Temple. When these goof Negroes talk about they nationalize and denationalize, can't no goofy Negro you met on the internet nationalize or denationalize you. They lying. But why someone was white. Thus the courts had to wrestle in their decisions with the nature of race in general and of white racial identity in particular. Their categorical practices in deciding who was white by law provide the empirical basis for the science that I'm displaying. How did the courts define who was white? What reasons did they offer? And what do the rationales tell us about the nature of whiteness? What does the cases reveal about the legal construction of race, about the ways in which the operation of law creates and maintains the social knowledge of racial difference? Do these cases also afford insight into white racial identity as it exists today? And what finally is white? In this science, I'm going to examine these and related questions, offering a general theory of the legal construction of race and exploring contemporary white identity. I also conclude that whiteness exists at the vortex of race in the U.S. law and society, and that whites should renounce their racial identity as is currently constituted in interest of social justice. That whiteness and all that stuff came from Bloomberg with a head. Research Bloomberg, all pseudo. The racial prerequisite cases, although now largely forgotten, the prerequisite cases were at the center of racial debate in the United States for over 50 years following the Civil War. I told you, the forgotten cause of the Civil War, if you had a tittle of Negro blood in you, you was a Negro. I broke this down a plethora of times. You can read White Cargo. You can research they were white and they were slaves. That's why it's so important for misnomer black people not to identify as a Negro, black, or color, or African American. Black lives don't matter. They don't. Because black is a misnomer. Black is an adjective. Are you an adjective? This is a black cell phone case. And black don't mean more with all these liars. If that's the case, more mean black or black. You had the adjective on front of the more. They called you a black or more, a tawny more, a swarty more. And in Spanish, negrito mean black. Negrito, not more. Negrito, negro mean black. Negrito beans, black beans. When immigration and nativism were both running high, naturalization laws figured prominently in the furor over the appropriate status of the newcomers and were heatedly discussed not only by the most respected public figures of the day, but also in the swirl of popular politics. Debates about racial prerequisites to citizenship arose at the end of the Civil War, when Senator Charles Sumner sought to expunge the Dred Scott, the Supreme Court decision, which had held that blacks were not citizens, by striking any reference to race from naturalization statute. His effort failed because of racial animosity in much of Congress toward Asians and Native Americans. The persistence of, anti-Asian agitation through the early 1900s kept the prerequisite laws at the forefront of national and even international attention. Efforts in San Francisco to segregate Japanese school children, for example, led to a crisis in relations with Japan that prompted President Theodore Roosevelt to propose legislation granting Japanese immigrants the right to naturalize. Controversy over the prerequisite laws also found voice in popular politics. Anti-immigration groups such as the Asiatic Exclusion League formulated arguments for restrictive interpretations of white persons prerequisites, for example, claiming in 1910 that Asian Indians were not white, but an effeminate, caste-ridden, and degraded race who did not deserve citizenship. For their part, immigrants also participated in the debates of naturalization, organizing civic groups around the issue of citizenship, written in the immigrant press, and lobbying local, state, and federal governments. The principal locus of debate, however, was courts, from the first prerequisite case in 1878 until racial restrictions were removed in 1952. 52 racial prerequisite cases were reported, including 2 heard by U.S. Supreme Court, framing fundamental questions about who could join the censory term of who was white. And then you get these goofy Negroes on here talking about they want to expatriate from this de facto government, not knowing law. And when you defact from this de facto government, you become a what? A stateless, foreign and abroad. You become an alien. And people don't even tell you this. The United States of America is the only place you have religious freedoms. The United States of America is the only place a person can come from a dictator country and then become a millionaire, become a doctor. I tell these goofy Negroes, I take you to the continent of Africa. You can't speak like this. Black people is crazy. Misnomer black people, they ain't never left their neighborhood. Negroes don't even have a passport. And then got the audacity to talk about they want to expatriate from this de facto government. You a fool. Talk about you some sovereign citizen, and that's an oxymoron. Ain't no such thing as no stupid sovereign citizen. You can't be no stupid sovereign and no citizen at the same time. That's an oxymoron. These cases attracted some of the most renowned jurists of the time, such as John Wigmore, as well as some of the greatest experts on race, including Franz Boas. Wigmore, now famous for his legal treatises, published a law review article, which I have, in 1894, asserting that Japanese immigrants were eligible for citizenship on the grounds that the Japanese people were anthropomorphically mean by birth and culturally white, just like you and me. Anthropology, like you and me. When I break it down, you have these rights. All you got to do is research the Declaration of Human Rights. Article 15. We are a nation of laws. We are all in the Constitution. You get these goofy Moors talking about Noble Drew Ali said to make up a new Constitution. You a lie. You a lie. And you lying. Because I have the state booklet of how the temple was set up. People been lying. And all the government bodies have this because this is free information. Just like they lie, talk about the 1010 number is some trust fund at the end of the rainbow. It ain't nothing but a damn affidavit. You lie. And it can be looked up in the CCRD, which is the County of Clerk Recorder of Deeds. You lying. And ain't no truth in none of these goofies. And that's what I call them. Boas, today commonly regarded as the founder of modern anthropology, participated in at least one of the prerequisite cases as an expert witness on behalf of Armenian applicants, who he regarded was white. Despite the occasional participation of the accomplished scholars, the court struggled with the narrow question of who to naturalize and with the categorical question of how to determine racial identity. I told y'all before Abraham Lincoln was a president, he was and he defended the Moor in court because it was illegal to be Negro, black, and colored since what, 1853? It was illegal. Research it. Research the Spencer and Dungy case, and then I can give you so much more. Through the courts, though the courts offer many different rationales to justify the various racial divisions, they advance two predominant common knowledge and science evidence. Both of these rationales appear in the first prerequisite case. In re ab yup, I'm speaking Latin, Spanish, because a lot of stuff is written like that and laws were written like that, which the average Negro don't even know. They decided in 1878 by a federal district court in California that common knowledge rationales appeal to popular, widely held conceptions of races and racial divisions. For example, the ab yup, the ABYUP, the ab yup court denied citizenship to a Chinese applicant in part because of the popular understanding of the term white person. The words white person in this country at least have undoubtedly acquired a well-settled meaning in common popular speech, as they are constantly used in the sense so acquired in the literature of the country, as well as in common parlance. Under a common knowledge approach, courts justify the assignment of petitioners to one race or another by reference to common belief about race, no facts. The common knowledge rationale construct, which reason based on supposedly objective, technical, and specialized knowledge. Such scientific evidence, rationales, justify racial divisions by reference to the naturalistic studies of humankind. A longer excerpt from the ab yup amplifies the second sort of rationale, and I'll break it down for you. In speaking of the various classifications of races, Webster in his dictionary says the common classification is that of Bloomback. I just told y'all about Bloomback. And then I go get the 1828 Webster Dictionary to show you what an American is. 1 second. I want us to start using our head. It's nothing but a petition, and you take it to the world courts. For the record, I've done this in academia. Here is the 1828 Webster Dictionary. 1828 Webster Dictionary. 1828 Webster Dictionary. American, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or the copper color races, found here by the European, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. It didn't say no white person. It said the copper colored races. In the dictionary. In the dictionary. I have too many academically and peer-reviewed scholarly reference to let you know who you are, but we'll still let other people, especially different nationalities, call you some Negro, black, and colored, and African American, and that's anti-Semitic. You can't call me no slave. I'm not no stupid slave. I don't even let misnomer black people call me no Negro, black, or colored. Black lives don't matter. They don't. And if you think that, you crazy as hell. And speaking of various classifications of race, Webster in his dictionary says the common classification is that of Bloomback. I told y'all Bloomback came up with that white thing from some stupid skull in the Caucasus, all pseudo, who makes 1, the Caucasian or the white race, to which belong to the greater part of European nations and those of Western Asia. You can be born in Europe and be a Moor. European has nothing to do with your nationality. Western Asia, the Mongolian or the yellow race, and ain't no such thing as no yellow race, occupying Tartary. When I get, man, it's a book called One World Tartarians. I broke it down. I showed you how the whole slave trade thing is false. You can get in the Royal Archives, and I show you that whole slave trade thing is totally false. Totally false. And every educator know what I'm saying. It's a book called The One World Tartarians. I have them. I lecture this on the college campus. You can hear a pin drop. All those goofy black professors that preach that black and out of Africa and that slavery stuff couldn't say a damn thing because they knew where I was coming from. And my professor, which is a European, was laughing, drinking his coffee. Drinking his coffee. The Ethiopian or the Negro black race occupying all of Africa except the North. The American, when you get the SF 181 form, when you read a European, it says from the continent of Africa and all that, Negroes don't read. It tell you to check all that pertain to you. Read it. Read it for yourself. The SF 180, the SF 181 form. And when you read that, and when it breaks down who you are, you never read it. It don't confuse you. I broke this down a plethora of times, but my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we let people tell us some of the most outlandish stuff about nationality and can't prove it. If Abraham Lincoln defended the Moor in court and the brother back then said that he's not Negro, black, and colored just because his skin is dark, what you think is different today? The American or the red race containing the Indian of North and South America, and 5, the Mali or the brown race occupying the islands of India, archipelago. This division was adopted from Buffon with some changes in names and is found on the combined characteristics of complexion, hair, and skull. No one includes the whites or the Caucasians with the Mongolian or the misnomer yellow race. These rationales, one appealing to common knowledge and the other to scientific evidence, were the two core approaches used by courts to explain their determination of whether individuals belong to the white race. But I just gave you the law. I just gave you Declaration of Human Rights. As Ab Yup demonstrates, the courts deciding racial prerequisites cases initially relied on both rationales to justify their decision. However, beginning in 1909, a schism appeared among the courts over whether common knowledge or scientific evidence was the appropriate standard. Thereafter, the lower courts divided almost evenly on the proper test for whiteness. 6 courts rely on common knowledge, while 7 others base their racial determination on scientific evidence. No court used both rationales. Over the course of 2 cases heard in 1922 and 1923, the Supreme Court broke the impasse in favor of common knowledge, though the courts did not see their decision in the light. The early conjurance of and subsequently contradict between common knowledge and scientific evidence set the terms of a debate about whether race is a social construct or a natural occurrence. In these terms, the Supreme Court's evaluation of common knowledge as the meter of racial convincingly demonstrated that racial categorization finds its origin in social practices. And the early prerequisite courts assumed that common knowledge and scientific evidence both measured the same thing, namely the natural physical difference that divided humankind into disparate races. Courts assumed that typology differences between the 2 rationales, if any, resulted from differences in how accurately popular opinion and science measure race, rather than from substantive disagreements about the nature of race itself. This position seemed tenable so long as science and popular belief gibbet in the construction of racial categories. In 1909, changes in immigrant demographics and anthropological thinking combined to create contradictions between science and common knowledge. These contradictions surface most directly in cases concerning immigrants from Western and Southern Asia, such as Syria, Asia, India, the dark-skinned people who were nevertheless unfamiliarly classified as Caucasian by the leading anthropologists of that time. I'm telling you, facts. It's all written in the books. I study in the Royal Archives. I study in the Library of Congress. What I say is bond. And I'll be waiting for a Freemason, I don't care what color you are, to get on here, because I have all your charter. And everything I'm saying is laid out on the tables. Science, inability to confirm through empirical evidence that popular racial beliefs that held Syrians, Asian, Indians to be non-whites should have led the courts to question whether race was a natural phenomenon. So deeply held was this belief, however, that instead of re-examining the nature of race, the courts began to disparage science. But I just showed you in the 1828 Webster Dictionary what a true American is, the copper color races. So if you know that you are American, why would you call yourself a Negro, Black, and colored and African American? Why? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you let misnomer Black people and all these so-called African American studies teachers tell you that your freedom is connected in some blackness? Yeah, melanin is the key to life, but we ain't talking about melanin at this moment. Over the course of 2 decisions, the Supreme Court resolved the conflict between common knowledge and science and scientific evidence in favor of the former, but not without some initial confusion. In Ozawa versus the United States, the court replied on both rationales to exclude a Japanese petitioner, holding that he was not of the type popularly known as the Caucasian race, thereby invoking both common knowledge, popular known, and science, the Caucasian race. Here is the earliest prerequisite case. Science and popular knowledge worked hand in hand to exclude the applicant from citizenship. Within a few months of the decision in Ozawa, however, the court heard a case brought by an Asian Indian, Begat Shina Tin, who relied on the court's earlier linkage of Caucasian with white to argue for his own naturalization. In the United States versus 10, science and common knowledge diverged, complicating a case that should have been easy under Ozawa's straightforward rule of racial specification. Reversing course, the court repudiated its early equation and rejected any role for science in racial assignments. The court decried, which is decreed, The scientific manipulation it believed had ignored racial differences by including as Caucasian far more people than the unscientific mind subjects. Even some persons the court described as ranging in color from brown to black. But the color spectrum in elementary school, the color spectrum doesn't go from light to dark. The color spectrum goes from dark to light. All my brothers, if y'all on my Moorish American page, please come on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. We venture to think that the court said that the average well-informed white American will learn with some degree of astonishment that the race to which he belonged is made up of such heterogeneous elements. The court held instead that the word free white persons are words of common speech to be interpreted in accordance with the understanding of the common man. And I just showed you in the 1828 Webster Dictionary what an American consists of. And we're going to continue to call ourselves Negro, Black, and Color, and African American. You're going to continue to call yourself an adjective, which black is. We're going to continue to let these religious fools that's on the corner talk about more mean black. No, it don't. No, it don't. Negrito mean black in Spanish. Negrito means. We dealing with people that's not even educators. And common knowledge was made into the touchstone of racial divisions. In elevating common knowledge, the court no doubt remained convinced that racial divisions followed from real, natural, physical differences. The court upheld common knowledge in the belief that people are accomplished amateur naturalists, capable of accurately discerning differences in the physical world. And I told everybody, eloquently, with a silver tongue, before Abraham Lincoln was the president, he was an attorney, and he defended Moore in court to tell you that he wasn't Negro, Black, and Color, or African American just because his skin is hue or is copper. Because it was illegal to be black since 1853. These is facts. And no one in the first century called themselves Negro, Black, and Color, or African American. Black was not even used to describe ethnicity in the first century. So why would we listen to some Negro talk about some stupid Willie Lynch? And that's fake. Why would we listen to Alex Haley talk about some roots and that's plagiarized from a European named Harold Colander that wrote a book called The African, and he made all that stuff up too, and the Negro ran with it because he think black people is stupid as hell, which they are, because misnomer black people refuse to learn. They refuse to give up slave titles. Talk about you black and you proud. No, you ain't black and you proud. They even made son James Brown where you black and I'm not black and I'm proud. I have a nationality, I have a race, and I have a status. My nationality is Moorish American, my race is Asiatic, and my status is free white. If you don't understand that, that's on you. I'm not going to argue with you. This explains that the court's frustration with science, which to the court's mind was curiously and suspiciously unable to identify and quantify those racial differences so readily apparent in the petitioners who came before them. And this frustration is unsustainable. No one can arbitrarily deny your nationality and a right to change it. No one. Given early anthropology's promise to establish a definitive catalog of racial differences, and from these differences to give scientific jurisdiction to a racial hierarchy that put whites at top. It's no disrespect. I'm giving history. I don't disrespect no Albion or no Trailer. But when you talk about white, you're not white pertaining to law because your skin is pale. No disrespect. Man, I married my one friend, my white friend, and she know her nationality. She's from Bosnia. She said that she's a Bosnian American. And here it is, I'm a Moor, a copper color race. Everybody at that funeral didn't look like me. And I did their union. They were like, well, you know who you are. We want you to do it. We respect you as a sheikh, as a rabbi. I went in my natural state. They are Bosnian Americans. Despite their strained efforts, students of race could not plot the boundaries of whiteness because such boundaries are socially fashioned and cannot be measured or found in nature. I've told you all that stuff came from Blumenbach, which is pseudo-academia. The court resented the failure of science to fulfill an impossible vow. It might better have resented that science ever undertook such enterprise. The early congruence between scientific evidence and common knowledge did not reflect the accuracy of popular understandings of race, but rather the social embeddedness of scientific injury. Neither common knowledge nor the scientific or the science of the day measured human variation. Both merely reported social beliefs about race. And the early reliance on scientific evidence to justify racial assignments implied that races exist as physical fact, humanly knowable, but not dependent on human knowledge or human relations. And the court's ultimate reliance on common knowledge says otherwise. It demonstrates that racial taxonomies devolved upon social demarcations. I gotta rewrite that. I'm just reading one of my lectures. The common knowledge emerged as the only workable racial test, shows that race is something which must be measured in terms of what people believe. That is a social mediated idea. The social construction of the white race is manifest in the court's repudiation of science and its installation of common knowledge as the appropriate racial meter of whiteness. No disrespect to no one. I'm giving you history and civics. The legal construction of race, the prerequisite cases, compellingly demonstrate that race and races are socially constructed. More importantly, they evidence and the evidence centrally of law in the construction. Law is one of the most powerful mechanisms by which any society creates, defines, and regulates itself. In centrality in the construction of socially and society is especially pronounced in highly legalized and bureaucraticized late industrial democracies such as the United States. It follows then that to say race is socially constructed is to conclude that race is at least partially legally produced. Put most starkly, law constructs race, and of course it does so within the larger context of society. I can go on and on with this teaching. On and on. Little to date has been written on the legal construction of race, identity. The tendency of those writing on race and law has been to assume that races exist wholly independent of the outside law, while the race and law literature is too extensive to summarize in this dissertation that I'm giving. Two of the best known works on the subject illustrate this point that I'm saying. When you consider A. Leon Higgins Botham Jr.'s classic study, I'm giving you references. It's a study and it's called In the Matter of Color, Race and the American Legal Process, the Colonial Period, 1978. And Derek Bell's equally classic casebook, Race, Racism, and the American Law, which is the third edition. I have them all. I have them all for y'all. That's why I say, man, I come from scholarship, and you can't deny what I'm saying, because most of my people haven't been introduced to what I've been introduced to. You haven't, and you must admit that. Your parents and most professors haven't. They've been trained to promulgate Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. In academia, it's called pseudo. If you're not there to go learn something and then challenge what they're telling you, then you graduating with nothing. I proved my point in my oral dissertation. I proved my point when I said I'm not Negro, black, or colored. I proved my point when I broke down law, when I said these are manumissions, when I broke down the 13th, the 14th, the 15th Amendment. when I came from reference from all of you writers in law and history to agree what I'm saying. I gave the scholarship, which I'm doing now. So why would we deny it today? Got to be crazy. Both works provide exhaustive measures, research, and invaluable studies of legal burdens imposed on blacks in North America over the last few centuries. Yet in the work, black and white are treated as natural categories rather than as concepts created through social and at the least, particularly through legal interaction between peoples, not initially racially defined in those terms. The discussion in both books of the arrival of the first African in the colonial North America exemplified this tendency. Higginbotham writes in 1619, when the first 20 blacks arrived here in Jamestown, I'll give you the document when it's talk about they arrived here in Jamestown and they were traded for food stuff. So if the first blacks arrived here from Africa, what about the ones that was already here before 1619? You ain't never asked yourself that question? What about the Hebrews Hill? It's there. There was not yet a statutory process to especially fix the legal standing of blacks. For his part, Bell quotes the following passages from the Kerner Commission. The Kerner Commission, this is old documents that I proved when I did my oral dissertation. Excuse my candor, I have to say this. All those black professors could not say nothing. All my European professors were like, well, it's for you to teach. We know this. They were like, we'll let the Negro have anything if it's going to keep them in bondage. This is what they say. And ain't no disrespect because I love all my European colleagues. I teach them. I get paid to tutor their children. And then when I come on here and ask for a donation, Negroes don't even want to give it. And that's okay. But my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge. I'll lecture at all the European churches because they want to hear me. I lecture at all their synagogues because they want to hear me. I lecture at Masonic houses because they want to hear me. I told y'all, they all know about Noble Drew Ali. You can go right back on my YouTube page and find a document and a lecture that I showed y'all with the European Mason giving homage to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday and laughing at the black man, saying that how you don't know about it. I know too many Europeans that wrote books about Noble Drew Ali. That's professors and that teach in theology schools. It's a European named Spencer Dew. He wrote a book called The Aliyhites. Peter Moon wrote about him. Peter Moon. It's a book called The Sacred Drift by Peter Lambert Wilson that talks about our prophet. Research what I'm saying. And the first Negroes landed at Jamestown in August 1619. And within 40 years, Negroes had become a group apart, separated from the rest of the population by customs and law, treated as servants for life, forbidden to intermarry with whites, deprived of their African traditions, and dispersed among southern plantations. Research the Black Christian codes. It was illegal for you to listen to me. It was illegal for you to teach science. You always had an overseer over you, which was a European overseer from the Protestant church. From the Protestant church. To tell you how to teach and how to preach. I'm not here to argue with no one. But I know I'm educated, anointed, and consecrated, and I've done these lectures in academia, and I graduated with honors. I know what I'm talking about. Nobody can deny it. That's why I never argue with no Negro, no European, no Albion, no Tralodite, no Moor, no religious person. I'm not wasting my time doing that. I never waste my time arguing, well, what about this? I'm not. I'm giving you the research and telling you to compare and come back and ask questions. The only people who will keep us in bondage is our own selves, using words that denote to slavery. American Negroes lost tribal, regionally, and family ties. These passages are striking because of the manner in which blacks, Negroes, and whites seem to exist as pre-legal givens, groups that interacted socially and legally, but that in all significant respects possess identities not dependent on their social and legal interaction. In Higginbotham's study, those African men who were forced onto American shores in 1619, they disembarked already possessed of a black identity. Similarly, in Bell's casebook, the Africans who were brought to Jamestown only a year after the Pilgrims had landed at Plymouth Rock, per se, arrived already Negroes in a way that, that attributed to them the same identity as those the passage later terms American Negroes. Neither work seems to recognize that the very racial categories under examination were largely created by the legal and social relationships between the disparate people who found themselves for weal or woe on the northeastern shores of the America in the first year of the 17th century. And this is all the more surprising because the very point of the passage, of both of the passages, is that the legal liabilities that would significantly define the relative identity of whites and blacks in North America were not in place in 1619. These works treated races as natural, pre-legal categories on which the law operates, but which the law does not in many ways create. In this assumption, they are joined by almost every other examination of race and law, especially if you know the 13th, the 14th, the 15th Amendment, especially if you know manumissions, especially if you know the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, especially if you know before Abraham Lincoln was a president, he defended the Moore in court because it was illegal to be Negro, black, and colored in 1853. You should know this. And then an educator, some black person to tell you your freedom is connected to your blackness, that's blasphemy. It's blasphemy. I can give you so many references of scholarship. New strand of legal scholarship dedicated to reconsidering of the role of race in U.S. society emerge. Writers in this time period, like myself and others, that would teach the truth. I know so many European professors and writers that teach the truth, known as critical race theory, have from the most part shown an acute awareness of this socially construct nature of race. Much critical race theory scholarship recognized that race is a legal construction. For example, it's an article by Gerald Torres and Kathleen Millen, and they examines the imposition of the legal concept of tribe on the mass sheep of Massachusetts in order to produce in a suit over alienated lands. The mass sheep were required to prove their existence as a tribe in legal terms that focus on racially purity, hierarchical leadership, clearly showed that they geographic boundaries. This legal definition of tribal identity, it led to their non-existence of the Mashi people, since its incorporation specific perceptions regarding race, leadership, community, and territory that were entirely alien to Mashi culture, because the Mashi did not conform to the racial and the cultural stereotypes. I can go on and on with it, on and on, but it's too much. I have the documents. I lectured this in college. I graduated with honors. It's there for you. It's there for you to study. But misnomer black people still will call themselves Negro, black, and colored and say Black Lives Matter. And I'm telling you they don't. I'm down for reparations. But no misnomer black person is going to get no reparations. I don't care how many lectures they get up there. I don't care if you get, what's the professor name? Carnell West. I don't care if you have T.I. on them, talk about, well, what should it call it? Your nationality, your race, and your status. By law, everything else is uncivilized. You must know the law. You must know constitutional law. You must know the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment. How these brothers, doctors in degrees, they call themselves professionals in slave history, which they call African American studies, and not going to get up there and give law? And these people been professors at Harvard, and I'll show you what Harvard did. I'll show you who educated most of them Harvard students. Amore, I have all the documents. These is facts. This ain't no lie I'm telling you. And these professors that get up there and talk about your freedom is connected to blackness. And I'll tell you a lie. And these so-called doctors, these are the ones that have doctor and all these alphabets behind their name. And I'm telling you that it's a lie. They won't have a debate with real history because I'm not gonna deal with no he say, she say. I'm gonna deal with the laws, the Constitution, the amendments, the 13th, the 14th Amendment. I'm gonna deal with manumissions. I'm gonna deal with the Reconstruction Law. I'm gonna show them precedent in law cases, the Spencer and Dungy case. Before Abraham Lincoln was the president, he was an attorney and he defended the Moore in court. I'm gonna break down the SF 181 form. I'm gonna break down the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. I'm gonna break down the House Joint Resolution, everything that's in the law. And then I'm gonna rest my case. And I guarantee you it won't be no rebuttal. It can't be. And the judge can be right there to oversee it. He's going to be like, I don't care if you don't like what that man have on. Deal with the facts. And when you deal with the facts, I can rest my case. And it will be no rebuttal. That's the problem with the average Negro. That's the problem with us. That's the problem. I can go on and on with the teachings, on and on. But it'll take so long, I won't be able to do my next part of my display. I'm almost done. And when I go on college campus, most of the college students, they have funds and a student union, and they pay me swell. I have a full library with over 1 million books and documents. When I go to Grand Canyon University on Wednesdays and lecture, I lecture. And after I lecture, I've converted a lot of expensive books that cost thousands and thousands of dollars on Amazon. I convert them to PDF, and then my company will print and bind them. But most of the college students, they say, no, we want all these books on our tablet. They want them all on their phone so they can travel with them. Some of them I print and bind them, or a lot of the students, they'll go to Office Max and Staples and get the books printed. And when I do these lectures on the college campus, I give away, and I go over 1,100 books, and I give them to college students for $5. That's $5,500 a whop. And I can't even get Negroes to donate a couple dollars to build your library. That's why I say we lost, because it was illegal for black folk to read. The science still consists today. If you want to hide something from a misnomer Negro, black, and color, or a stupid African American, put it in the book. Why? Because a Negro will not read. What they'll do, look at pictures. It's valid today. The average Negro only have a 3rd grade reading comprehension. The average Negro they only will be attentive for about like 20 or 30 minutes, but they'll watch a TV series. And then when I go lecture at the college campus with my European colleagues and students, I can't get out of there unless I be there for at least 2 to 3 hours. My wife will tell you, I have to be there for at least 3 hours because they be on the edge of their seat. They be asking real questions. And then they be like, well, are you going to give up some books? Would you go over 1,100 books? Are you going to let us all get the books? And then when I offer books for a certain amount of dollar, misnomer black folk don't even be smart enough to put their money together and get the documents. We be trying to scheme each other. And I have so many stories of misnomer black people trying to scam. One of my companies is mypdfbooks.com. So my PDF books is self-explanatory. That means PDF books to download on your tablet or your cell phone. That's called digital downloads. And then I get black people, they'll order books on my company and they say, oh, I thought the book was a hard copy. Not for the percentage I'm giving it to you. And then my European colleagues, I'm just being honest, they say, why do you deal with misnomer black folk? You are self-explanatory. You tell them what it is. We know all these books is PDF. You took the time to convert all those books on Amazon that cost thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I converted them to PDFs the same way that Google did. Google spent $25 million to converting books to PDF, and they taking chapters out the books. I've done the same thing over my academic career. I have over 1 million books that I converted to PDFs, and I have the original books, and I print them and bind them for you at my sister company called bindingbooks.com. It's books right now that I have that a person would never buy on Amazon because they tell you the truth. They cost too much money. $1,000, $1,500, $4,000. I share it all with people. You would never buy those books because they cost too much. I got a plethora of books in my library that cost over $1,000. I know the average Negro don't have. Why? Because you're not going to spend $1,000 on a book, but you would spend $1,000 on some weed, on a belt, going to the club, going out to eat. You would do that. And I know the average Negro is not buying those books. And then they'll complain why it costs so much. Because they know the science in there and they're going to keep it away from the average Negro. That's why. But I have every one of them. Not some, not a tittle, every one. Name any expensive book with the science in there, I have it. And you can ask any of my muftis, any of the people that's part of my temple in school, any college student at Grand Canyon University that I helped build their library with peer-reviewed scholarly research. I have college students that when they started, they didn't have a library. They didn't know how to do research. And now I have college students, I don't care if you white, black, orange, purple, green, because I deal with people that know my voice and that love me. I've built their library. And some of the least amount of books that a lot of my students have in their library is about, I'll say 1,500. I have college students that didn't have no books, that didn't know how to write, because a lot of the college libraries is trash, especially if you take an African American history studies. That's program learning. Most of them have a full library. If any of my muftis jump on my YouTube page, because most of my muftis are on my Facebook page, my muftis can jump on this YouTube page and they'll give you real testimonies of how they learn and how big their library is and show you the value of the books that they have in their library. Even my European colleagues in academia and the ones that I teach at the synagogues and at the churches, they'll tell you how big and how extensive their library is since they've been dealing with a true teacher and a true sheikh and a true rabbi. It's nothing secret with me. So I got a little bit more to give y'all and I'm done. When I ask for a small donations on here, I ain't ask nobody to pay me. I tell everybody, if you give a donation, I will give you literature. I give my email, Goodman, Goodman, Khary, Khary, @gmail.com. And I say, leave your name and leave the handle, and I'll give you books. When I have Sunday school, I ask for donation. I tell people I'll give you books and documents. When I have adapt class every Saturday, the same thing. When I have my book reading every Friday, we have a book club. Every book that we go over, I tell people, if you give a small donation, I'll send you the book to your email. And then you can go to Office Max or Staples and have them print it and bind it like so. Or my company, binditbooks.com, will print it and bind it for you. It's that simple. So let's deal with it. I'm going to deal with a little bit of history and then I got to go. In reality, what is a Negro? In reality, what is a Negro? It's a European that made a book called The Negro is a Beast. All my students have it. All my students have it. I lectured it on a college campus. I lectured a plethora of times. I lecture this stuff on a college campus a plethora of times. So I'm not here to beg nobody to pay me for nothing. I get paid swell when I lecture this on a college campus. I'm here to share everything that I have, to share my full library with over 1 million books and documents when I have Sunday school, when I have adapt class, when I have book club. I ask my brothers and sisters to donate as little as $5 or $10 and I'll give you documents. I'll give you expensive books for a small donation. If I ask for $40 a donation for a book that costs $1,000 and I say I'll send it to you to your email and you can print it and bind it, you should jump on that. You should talk to the people that's into the science like you and be like, whoa, hey man, I need to get this from this brother. Like right now, I got time to show y'all 4 books that's expensive on Amazon, and this how we print them on my print press. If you available right now, go on Amazon and look up The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War by Tinsler and tell me how much that book costs. Tell me how much that book costs. These what the college students do on academia. They say, you got all those books? I got all these books, and then I print and bind them. I got every one. And then people try to scheme and scam with me, especially misnomer black people. When I sell them a PDF book for a fraction of the price, they try to say, oh, I thought it was the original book. My company is mypdfbooks.com. Why would you think that? You didn't go on my other company, which is bindedbooks.com, and pay $200 for a book, and we'll print it and bind it for you and give you a tax-exempt receipt on Amazon. Look how much this book costs. Look how much the book costs on Amazon. I'm always going to show brothers and sisters. You don't know no one that have this book. I bet you don't. I know you don't. Because no Negro that I know is going to pay that much money for some paper. And why should some paper cost that much? This book on Amazon is almost $600. And here we go, right here. The whole book. I read the whole book. I had to study the whole book. Why? Because I have the original books. I have the original books. That's why. Y'all probably heard a book called The Golden Age of the Moor by Ivan Van Sertima. Right now, that book still is on Amazon for $140. On Amazon right now. Look, $144. I give these PDFs to people for $20 and then I print them and bind them. Or you can go to Office Max and Staples and have them print them and bind them for some pennies. That's why I said my people lost. You want to know another historical book? Research Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. Research that right now. It's called Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. I'll look it up too. And then you have these Negroes on the internet talk about the ancient blacks. It is no such thing as an ancient black. I told you that. These are Russian icons. And then it's another book by David McRitchie, which I got, called The Ancient and Modern Britons. The Ancient and Modern Britons. Then I start showing you all monuments all over. No one called themselves black in first century. No one. Black was not used to describe ethnicity. Here we go, right here. Russian Icons. Paperback, the book is $185. The hard copy is still almost $1,000. It's still almost $1,000. Why? Because they know it's science in this book. I have the original books and I converted them to PDF. Because they have pictures in here. In their original state. They have plates in here. Because they have the plates of things in here. When I went to the Jewish Catholic Church during the Greek festival, and when you go behind the so-called gold ropes, everything that I'm talking about, they have it back there. They have pictures in gold with the Messiah, dark skin. When I talk about the Russian icons. And people don't be wanting to get these when I say, well, I'll let you get the PDF for $40. You see how much the book costs, the paperback. You see how much the hard copy costs. And Negroes be like, oh, man, I thought it was the original book. Man, you can print it and bind it. And then it'll be. It ain't nothing but paper. The paperback book costs $185. The hard copy book costs almost 2 bands. And you don't want to get the research and the literature from me? Here go another book right here. Let me show you how much this book still costs. On Amazon right now. And I know every book that I just showed y'all, nobody on here have them. I know that. Let's see. Here we go right here. I have all the original books. Somewhere over there, I'll go grab them for you. Look how much this book costs. $1,000 still. This book still costs $1,000. I have them right here. And I have all the original books. And I have all the original books. I converted these to PDF. I have a print press. I wish my muftis get on my YouTube page. They'll testify. All my muftis, all my college students, they have every book that I have. And they don't complain over prices. They download them on their tablet. They go to Office Max and Staples and print them. Or they'll have my sister company bind and print them at bindedbooks.com. This is another book that you should have. Watch this. Let me show you how much it still costs on Amazon. I have all these original books. Let's see how much this book costs on Amazon still. Whoa. On Amazon, this book still $1,100 and not $1,100. $1,195 still on Amazon. And here it go right here. Here it go right here. So why do you think all these books cost so much? Why? 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 I even got a little document called the 103 Amazing Facts about the Negro of the West. I forget the name of the book. One of my muftis tell me the name of that book. I got a PDF here, and it ain't nothing but some bullets. And the goofy Negro, I'm saying it, try to charge $250,000 worth some shit that he know he made up. And then in the book, he's referencing books that cost pennies. He's referencing books that cost pennies. And here it is, when I go on a college campus, I share these books with the students. Nobody's gonna buy these books for that price. I have way more. All these books I just showed you, this one, Russian Icons, The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War. This is over $5,000. And I still haven't went and showed you the rest of the books that I have in my library. And why do you think these people make these books so expensive on Amazon? Why? Why do you think? And I got my own book company where I print and bind them. Or you can get them PDF to download on your tablet so you can have the science. The whole thing is having it. Why do you care about having some book that Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and whoever else trying to sell books for thousands of dollars? Man, I got this document, Mosa. What's the name of that document? 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Here we go. I found it. This document right here. Look up how much the goofy Negro trying to charge for this for Amazon. And in this book on Amazon, he quoting cheap books. I be laughing at these people. I say, man, stop with the madness. Stop with the madness. Stop with the madness. Let's see how much this book still costs on Amazon. Let's see how much he trying to sell his book still on Amazon. And on here, it's available, unavailable. On Amazon, it's unavailable. Yeah, he should have took that crap off Amazon. This fool tried to charge $250,000 for this BS. $250,000 for this BS. $250,000. Yeah, $250,000 for this BS. That's what I'm calling it. For some stuff that you quoting out of cheaper books that cost $20 that I have in my library. And it ain't nothing but bullets. It ain't nothing but bullets. You should just want the science. I got all this stuff PDF. I sold this to a dude one day. He was like, oh man, I want my money back. I said, Negro, I gave the book to you for $20, fool. That's cheaper than some marijuana you go buy at the dispensary. Well, I thought it was the original book. Man, stop lying. It ain't nothing but bullets. It's 103 bullets in here. It's 103 bullets in here. Why you wouldn't want to get this from a brother that have it? And I can send you the PDF for change. I'll give you the PDF for $10, $15, $20. For $15 to $20, the PDF. It ain't nothing but 103 bullets. It's all in here. When people have science, they wrote on papyri. They wrote on napkins. All you should want is the wisdom. It ain't nothing but 103 bullets in here. So why wouldn't you want to deal with the science? And the brother wanted $250,000 for it. And when the Negro wrote me, I said, man, shut up. That's exactly what I told the Negro. Shut up. Talk about dishes, that, and that, and the other. And when I dissect this, talk about you some non-reservationist. And then you quoting books from Ivan Van Sertima and different cheap books. But you want to try to charge $250,000 for a book, and you referencing books that's $20 and $10. Go on somewhere with that crap. But that's what our people do. This book, these documents ain't worth no goddamn $250,000. Here it is. He referenced a book. Watch, I'm about to go get the book from over here to show y'all. Watch this. Let's see if I can find the book real fast. see. Where's that book? Where is James Adair's book at? Let me see. Can I find James Adair's book? Man, I got too much stuff, man. I'm not gonna. I got it sitting over here. I have to find it later. But it's a book by James Adair. James Adair wrote a book called The History of the American Indian. And in the book, he claimed that the Indians of the Western Hemisphere were the descendants of the lost tribe of Israel. But you quoting that in this book and trying to charge $250,000, man, go sit down. Go sit down. Go sit down. Well, brother, man, brother my ass, excuse my candor. But that's what we do. That's what we do. We try to act like we got some secrets to somebody. But I'm an educator. It's nothing that the average Negro on the internet is going to have that I don't have, or I haven't been introduced to, or I haven't been given to me by professors and scholars on their dying bed. I don't have professors give me their whole library because their kids went into it. And as I started researching the books on Amazon to see how much them books cost, they're invaluable. One of my European professors said, your people don't know you creating NFTs when you can get a PDF book from me that costs thousands of dollars and you can continue to sell it over and over to your people and share the wisdom. Y'all don't know the work that I'm doing. It's sad. It's a sad thing. It's sad. It's sad. It's very sad. But what is a Negro? They were all made up in the United States. They are slave labels. And this criminal process of enslaving humanity is legally called denationalization. And the atrocity of man denationalizing another man ranks high on the scales of federal and international crimes with treason, genocide, and ethnic cleansing. Living evidence of this modern day evil began with the public notice, which marketed the 1774 colonial black code laws, when you look up the black Christian codes. And these laws, contrived in the lodges of the New York and the Scottish Rites, announced to the new Western world that the African gods of the Nile were dead and the light of Egypt was being extinguished. Everybody know what I'm saying. This stuff is wrapped up in masonry. In 1779, these laws were translated into the main constitutional body of law, which were to govern the world's newest autonomy. I broke this down earlier to show the serious intent of the dehumanization and making of a Negro. George Washington and other Masonic framers wrote the denationalized West African into the very first article, which is the 3/5 clause of the Constitution of the United States. Everyone else was written in as property, especially women, Indian, not taxed, and the low maintenance, high profitable, bull market Negro. The only exclusion of the profane world was the only true citizen of the United States, white males at the age of 21, with the sound mind and body. And after the institution of slavery was abolished in 1865, the European brothers of a victorious North and conquered South manufactured the acronym Negro, Black, and Colored, whose names were now outlawed in Article 1 of the 13th Amendment under the assumable jurisdiction, appearing as persons, were now commercial property and owned by Congress in the ratification of the 1868, which was the 14th Amendment. And further evidence, of the nationalization of the West African nationals, the making of a Negro, Black, and Colored, can be found upon the birth certificates of live births, all state certified births bearing the slave names of Negro, Black, and Colored, and African American, or their vital statistic numerical alphabet codes, are documented straw men into a perpetual life of chattel. This way, as property, the Negro, Black, or Colored can annually generate $1 trillion consumer dollars and yet not own anything. I told y'all, when people be just making stuff up, when I broke down a load of your deeds, when I said that just has to do with land, not no house, and you let these people, or you can do this, no you can't, and they won't have no conversation with me because they know I destroy that in 1.2 seconds from scholarship, from no prejudice. If I was talking crazy, I couldn't have graduated with dual master degrees from college. I wouldn't be able to lecture on a college campus, and I wouldn't be educating professors and other people's children. And I'm in Arizona, which is a red state. The Negro, black, and colored is not only a sin, but also a crime. Negro, blacks, and colored remain powerless when compared to the standard qualifications of all existing nations. Yep, I got a little bit more. Thank you for the donation, Noble. Gratitude. I love you too, man. Yep, and you can call me. Yep, and you can get those books from me, whatever you need. Just hit me up. Put it in my email. Whatever donation you sent, I'll hook you up. What do you say? You want all those books I showed? Man, you give me a nice donation, I'll give you every one. I don't, like I said, all these books cost thousands of dollars, and I saw the donation you gave. Gratitude. Oops. Gratitude. Y'all got to know this, man. You got to know this. The remaining powerless when compared to the standard qualifications of all existing nations. Negro, black, and colors today, self-proclaimed African Americans, do not have one free national name, religion, national constitution, standard principles, country, which is land named after themselves, no national flag, no seal, no emblem, and no forefathers, genealogy, or prosperity to offer their begottens. These family and nations necessities are too numerous to remain absent of inquiry. You should be asking this. Brothers and sisters should be asking this. You should ask the questions, and it must be answered by the have-nots, because the have use these requirements to preserve their freedom. And when the USA abolished the institution of slavery, it also eradicated all slave labels and opened the door for a new nation to declare themselves. Legally, the word abolishment does not translate into freedom. Freedom and citizenship have been assumed by the Negro for nearly 1.5 centuries. Slave governments do not have the power to free you. You have that power. You have it. You have it. You have it. True freedom must be attained by the displacement, the capture, or the imprisonment. Those who continue to cling to the names and principles to delude to slavery are alienating themselves from the family of nations and subjecting themselves to all the abuse and mistreatment the citizens care to bestow upon them. You're supposed to teach your kid early what you learn late. That's your job as a parent. And when legal slavery ended, that's when mental slavery began. Negro, oh, I'm Negro, I'm African American, Black Lives Matter. Black lives don't matter to nobody. And the only person that's going to get reparations for a Negro, black, or color is the person that created them. And that's the only person that got reparations for it. It's the person that created them. These is facts. These is facts. You got to understand that the great God never made any such thing as Negroes, blacks, or color, and attached them to the human family. And for the self-named African Americans who fancy themselves more intellectually, like put abbreviations behind their name, you still a slave. None of these carry any iot of free national value on the scale of proper person or true identity. And those who have ignorantly carried these names that were given to slaves during the time of slavery and voluntarily dressed them under various Western Masonic political religions or social titles. I told y'all the Dred Scott Law said no matter slave, no matter free, you still a slave. So when you call yourself some Freemason and you got some potentate over you, you know you lying. I'll break down all your science. I'm 99 degrees. I ain't never took no oath. I'm initiated, yes, through the wisdom and through the understanding, able to come and speak to you just like the prophet did. I get accused of so much stuff from Negro. Oh, he a Freemason. He took the oath. Well, what oath? If I took an oath, you can look my charter up just like I look up your daddy charter. Just like I look up your charter with Greek fraternity you under. And I tell you that the Greek is a fraud. The Greek is a liar. I'm telling you. The Greek is a fraud. The Greek is a liar. It's a brother that did the lectures about all this back in the day. Y'all know his name? Steve Coakley. Research all the Steve Coakley lectures. Steve Coakley went a little off because he didn't stay on task. Research Steve Coakley when he broke all this stuff down, how the Greek is a fraud and how the boule and all this stuff. I know all this. I'm initiated. I don't have no fear of no goofy Negro that done took some oath. And the European will laugh and tell you that I'm telling you the truth. Because they only 32 degrees. That's in meteorology when water freezes. I'm 99 degrees. I'm 33 times 3. Ancient Rite, Memphis, and Mizraim. I'm a spirit builder. I haven't took no oath. I'm initiated. How? Through the wisdom and through the science. I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. I'm able to tell you this. I'm able to speak the truth. So help me God. And can't nobody do a damn thing about it. If y'all research Ralph Ellison, he wrote a powerful book referring to the American ex-slave entitled The Invisible Man. It's a book called The Invisible Man. I'm going to always reference books so you can research. Write it down. It's called The Invisible Man. I have them all. You should want to look this up. You should want to look this stuff up that I'm telling you. I'm giving you all scholarship. It's called The Invisible Man by Ellison. He gave a vivid account of what it's like to exist, yet not be recognized because of a peerless statue or a peerless status. And few people consider the fact that an entire people can personify a status of non-existence. And the book addresses American muffled questions in their delusionalist machination of a nation. A Maya is the real appearing as unreal, and the unreal made to seem real. It is the everlasting seeing a short-lived, and that which is meant to appear as everlasting. I want y'all to know this. I'm tired of lecturing to people that don't look like me and getting a standing ovation and getting donations and getting dollars, and my own people still, your ears are not open yet. Still, I'm still not on your podcast. I'm still not in your churches. People that call themselves Moors and got all this. What are y'all doing in y'all temples? Talking a whole bunch of sovereign citizen bullshit. Excuse my candor. Talking about you finna overthrow this de facto government and you getting ready to go straight to prison. Because ain't no Negro over here in the United States, no Consulate General of Morocco. Them Negroes in jail. I'm not going to say their names because when you name, that's just giving a person publicity. And I ain't giving nobody no name. But ain't no stupid Consulate General of Morocco here in the United States. That Negro got his head bust on the highway by police. And if you some Consulate General, why your consulate did come get your ass out of the goddamn jails in here in the United States? Even with them goofy Negroes derived of the Moors telling you to do all this dumb shit, excuse my candor, why them Negroes in jail? Y'all didn't know 2 of them Negroes was informants? Y'all didn't know that? This is free information. 2 of them Negroes was informants. And y'all didn't even know that. That's why I can't no more get on my page and say nothing stupid. I start giving real names. Just like in Chicago, when these goofy Moors be telling you, we don't pay taxes and do all this. Man, if you live in a community, if you live in a certain place, you are paying taxes. If you ain't paying your property taxes, you're going to lose your house. Smart guy. And then the goofy Negro that called himself some sheik went to prison for tax evasion and got all them people caught up filing fake taxes. But I thought you don't pay taxes. So why you going to have all your people file for some fake taxes? You a lie and ain't no truth in you. You a liar. Which most of them Negroes with feathers on they be liars. They be bums on welfare trying to tell you you can file some paperwork out to get something. Even them dumb ladies that call themselves some Sharifian officer. Man, that's had to do with the Ottoman Empire and get their ass arrested on TV. Get their power and shit cut off. And then the social workers and the caseworker come get their damn kids. And they listen to some old Negro on the internet with missing teeth tell you to do some shit, but he ain't doing it. He ain't driving without no license. The person that driving him has operator's license. These people is freaking crazy. But they won't come to me with that BS. I bet you that. I bet you that. They'll talk about, well, nonprofits and this and that and the other, but then they asking you for donations. How the hell they living? Because I'm a nonprofit. That means I can give you a tax-exempt receipt to claim on your taxes to offset the money that you giving to Uncle Sam. These Negroes just be talking. It's impossible for the so-called Negro, black, or colored people to free yourself without the achievement of a good education. divine national and civil laws. Such needed learning are not nearly as complicated as Harvard, Yale. I do this in the libraries. I travel all over. People have me travel to speak like this. All different people. I ain't on nobody team. I can show you all. I don't care about no more Science Temple of America. Them Negroes a lie. Here go the state booklet right here, how the temple was set up. I'll give it to you for pennies. I'll give it to you for pennies. I got the whole document how the temple was set up. Then when you got them lying Negroes like Love L, no disrespect, talking about some 101099 is some trust fund at the end of the rainbow. You a lie. I got the document to disprove that. This is from the county clerk, a recorder of deeds. This was in 2016. The county clerk, a recorder of deeds, when Negroes lying and you talk about some 101099 is some trust fund at the end of the rainbow. They told them, they told you that I don't know what your ass talking about. They break it down to prove it. I say, these people been lying to you. I don't respect no old lying fool. I don't, and I'm not going to respect it. I got all the documents right in your face when Amora talk about some 1099 and some trust fund. I don't even have time to read it all. I have these documents. I give them to people. And then you could go ask them, here, you see their names on here? Sheik Lionel, Love L, Sheik is Multi, Love L, Morris Science Temple of America. They wrote the CCRD, and the CCRD responded. They responded with the dumb stuff that these Negroes saying. They told them, they said document 1010-5905 is an affidavit of organization under the Religious Corporation Act. 805 ILCS 110 ET SEQ under the Religious Corporation Act. There are specific requirements that need to be met in order for a document to be recorded pursuant to that act. See the president-in-law case, 805 ILCS 110-36. I don't know what these liars be talking about. It's in there. They like, man, I don't know what y'all talking about. Listen what they say in question 7. This is what they asked them. They said, is this office aware that the unauthorized issuance and collections of funds resulting from said issuance constitutes a breach of registers, fiduciary duty and custody, criminal fraud, embezzlement? Listen what they tell these goofy Negroes. Response, your position is legally and factually incorrect. Please see relevant statutory authority referenced above and some of your other correspondence. You indicate that the CCRD has refused to file certain real estate and non-real estate related documents and index under the number trust 1010-5905, which ain't no trust. To be clear, document 1010-5905 is not a trust document. This document is simply an affidavit of organization under the Religious Corporation Act. What this means is that the document serves as a record that the Morris Science Temple of America is organized, incorporated as a religious corporation under the Religious Corporation Act. I keep telling y'all liars, I'll pull out all my papers from the temple. We have an ID card, which is only for the Morris Science Temple of America. We have a travel ID card, which is only for the Morris Science Temple of America. And we have a tax exempt card, which is for the Morris Science Temple of America. Just like your church, if it's tax exempt, they should have a tax exempt status, so you don't have to pay taxes for basic purchases. But they ain't gonna tell you the truth because there ain't no truth in these people. I'm telling y'all, man. So I don't even have to continue to demonstrate this. I've been doing this for years. And then anyway you want to know how the Morris Science Temple is created, here it is right here. Here it is right here in your face. See, them liars, they got to tell the truth because it's public information. You can look it up. That's why when you get on here, it's people names that they the ones that file them fake taxes. Sheik Warden L. You can pull up the case. I told you I'm going to start saying names because I don't want you to get in trouble again. Pull it up. I got these Negroes' whole case file. Them Negroes talk about they don't pay taxes, but you got all these people filing fake taxes and getting them in trouble. Man, go on with that bull crap, man. You can never say nothing to me. Most people don't know the analogy of a state and a body politic is right here in your face. It's right here in your face. So I don't have nothing else to say. I'm done. I'm done. Like I said, my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. We're dealing with a whole bunch of bums that act like they got some special more science power. And they bums and criminals. Like I said, I got all these documents for you. Even this right here. This is what you want to have. This is what they teach in Harvard and Cambridge. This is what the attorneys, you need this. A trustee on arrest and false imprisonment by Charles A. Wiseman. All the European professors and lawgivers have it, but not you. I got the whole cases on life, liberty, and property, which I fact check everything. So why wouldn't you want to be educated and anointed by somebody that's proven an educator in real life in academia? Why? Why wouldn't you want to? I asked that same question. I asked that same question to my brothers and sisters. So do we have any questions as I leave? Thank y'all for the donations. Brothers that call themselves Moors, hit me up. I gave y'all my email. I gave my office number. I opened my doors to come to class, to come to Sunday school, come to adapt class, come to our book reading. I opened my full library up. If you got a kid in college, I bet you I can help them graduate, as I've done so many times to college students. I'll build your library. And if you study in so-called African-American history, I can illuminate that. If you study in so-called Christian studies, I can illuminate that because I did my dissertation and I proved who I am. I have those degrees and I'm anointed and I'm consecrated. Any questions, man? I'm about to get out of here, man, and have lunch. Any questions? I give y'all gratitude, man, for everything, for the time out y'all day. But my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge, man, because we refuse to learn. And we playing a deadly game, calling ourselves Negro, blacks, and colors, and African American, letting people tell us black lives matter. And black lives don't matter. Because black lives is not a nationality. That's a misnomer. Black is an adjective. There's nowhere in the history of nationality that black was used to describe ethnicity. And please don't say the ancient blacks, because it ain't no such thing as no ancient blacks. You were ancient and modern Britons. You have the Russian icons. Even this book right here that I have, that most people don't have, with the European, will show you who you are. That you are the Igbo, the Hebrew. I lectured this in college. You can hear a pin drop. So I know what I'm saying. I don't care about no Negro wearing no fez. I don't care. I don't care about no more science temple. They ain't teaching no truth. That mess don't mean nothing because you got a temple with a whole bunch of idiots that's happy because they dropped out of school in the 3rd grade. Oh, I dropped out of school in the 4th grade. That ain't nothing to brag on. Or I just got out of prison. Oh, so that's the stuff you want your kids to know? You don't want your kids to be under the real clock of destiny, to be educators, to be doctors, to be spiritual teachers, to be lawyers. You don't want your children to be that. You want your children to be a stupid idiot and say, well, I dropped out of school in the 3rd grade or I just got out of prison. That ain't nothing honorable. Them Negroes don't own no real land in their community. Most of the people that follow me is still in the neighborhood. What do you own in your community that you live in? Negroes don't even own land. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I own damn near a whole block that I grew up in, that I purchased for tennis shoe money. And I show people how to do that. And I'm getting ready to move back to my city of Flint and build my own community and build my own spiritual house as I'm trying to get all my muftis under the temple. That's the great migration. For we can own some stuff instead of just renting. I don't give a damn if you got a mortgage, you don't own shit. Don't you know the religious rights trump everything? And when you under the religious auspice, you're tax exempt from the federal government, religious, scientific. You don't pay taxes on your anything dealing with ministry. So your homes, your furniture, your cars, your clothing, you are tax exempt. These is facts. And your people that's working a regular job, instead of them giving all their money to Uncle Sam, they can support the temple and school with their charitable donations, and I can give you a tax exempt receipt. And then I will teach you the certain amount of taxes and a certain amount of money that you got to donate to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice to offset your taxes. Because the whole thing is giving Uncle Sam less money and using money to build your infrastructure. Because you're not getting no money back from Uncle Sam. You're only getting a small tittle of what they took from you the whole year. So you can file exempt. Why? Because you already deciphering your money to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. That's why I'm able to give you a tax exempt receipt. You don't have to give your money to Uncle Sam. You can file exempt. You should be giving the lowest amount to Uncle Sam out of your check or filing exempt. And then if you ever get audited, the reason why you file exempt, because you support your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. When you research the religious rights of the indigenous people, you have the right to do what I'm telling you. But most of our people are not educated on these factors. We don't own nothing. We move out of our community. I'm trying to get us to do the great migration back into our communities, to try to take over a community like I'm doing right now. I'm getting ready to move back to my city of Flint. Yes, I'm going to own my house out here in sunny Arizona with my Empress, but just living a regular life, that ain't my mission. I have a life from the Creator, is to go back and show people how we can have our own infrastructure in our own community. And then you see, and you come out the house, you see the neighborhood full of men with turbans, full of kids with turbans, full of kids with fezes on. You see us walking the kids to our schooling after they finish their public schooling. You see us in our community owning things in our neighborhood, having our own stores, instead of going to Chinatown and instead of going to all these other places where your money is no good. In my neighborhood in the city of Flint, it's no misnomer of black people or no Moors that have no hair store, that have no party store, all owned by the misnomer Chinese or the misnomer Arab in our neighborhood. And then the Negro say that the neighborhoods don't have money. Well, why all these different nationalities is coming to your neighborhood, opening up stores, and then they'll leave, go back to the misnomer Middle East and move their family member or cousin in. And then this is what a Negro say, oh, they got some special law. They ain't got no special law, fool. You should be doing what they doing. How? I told you, you get a tax break for having your family and your kids work for you. I've been teaching this to Negroes forever. But all Negroes do is make excuses. Your family, your children should be working for you. That's a tax break. You got to understand this. And when we do business, we give all our money away. Instead of us dealing with somebody like me, I can show you how to buy the plight in your neighborhood. I can show you how to say, man, no, we don't want this raggedy ass house that we can't fix. It's going to cost too much money. We're going to petition the city to tear it down. We want the land. And then we'll put our double wides on it. We put our double wides on it. Or if the house is okay to fix up, I know too many brothers and sisters that have contractor license. We go and fix them up and move people back in the community. And then when you look on a side street in the city of Flint, we call those side streets. You got the side street and the main roads. The side street have houses on each side. In my city of Flint, all the houses is abandoned on each damn side of a side street. I'm getting ready to go back to my home state of Flint, Michigan. I'm going to show y'all. All the houses are abandoned or just plight. And the city of Flint tore them down. I buy all this property for tennis shoe money, for a couple $100 that a person will buy some shoes with. And y'all don't want to get down with this? I got land that I buy. A whole bunch of land that we can build our big compound on, that I don't charge nobody hundreds of thousands of dollars a lie. You can look me up. And I share this with my brothers and sisters. We lost because we're not into the know. It's nothing secret. We're not into the know. And we done had a whole bunch of lying Negroes that hide behind the Nation of Islam and to hide behind some religion to act like they got some secret. Or like, oh, they got 400 acres. And I told people that was a lie. The brother from the Nation of Islam talking about he got some never ever farms. I told Negroes that was a lie because I knew the Europeans that owned them 400 acres. The Negro lied. Then he got with another Ponzi scheme and a pyramid scheme, talk about how he made money. That wasn't but a payola. They used him because he had a lot of followers on Instagram and he got a whole bunch of Negroes in trouble. Got on my page before and I told him to shut the hell up. He couldn't say nothing. Got on the internet talking about you got master's degree in Christian studies and a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in business from a stupid ass diploma mill. Him and Tank on there talk about they got a degree from Nigeria. All false. And these what these people do, get on the internet and lie to you. You a proven liar. You part of the Nation of Islam with thousands of people. The Nation of Islam got money. Farrakhan got money. Why you got to go out and solicit stupid black people that's struggling to pay their bills? Because you riding around in a Corvette. Some shit that you got given to you, payola, to bring all black people in because you got a lot of people to follow you. That shit is stupid. Sitting on your ass talking about some residual income is not it. Them Negroes don't know nothing about no real estate. They don't own no real estate. As I close, pull up a brother that I like to follow. He's a younger brother. He's a CPA. His name is JT. He got a YouTube podcast called JT Pocket Watchers. Pull him up and pull up all those fake Negroes, all those Black Wall Street Negroes, all that fake stuff. And pull up what I'm saying. Pull up the brother from the Nation of Islam, how he's sitting up there lying, but they talk about they so educated. And now when my man JT asked them questions, he looked like a stupid ass deer with headlights on. Because he know he done lied and defrauded all his people that look like you. But them Negroes won't take that bull crap to no European community or to the Jewish community because they know they lying. They won't take that stuff to no other community but some poor people. Oh, I got some secret knowledge. I know how to show you how to think. No, you don't. It ain't nothing but a Ponzi scheme. To get they line ass program, you need to get nobody program. I can teach you all that shit they talk about with a class. And all that shit is copy and paste. I'll be waiting for somebody to come on here and say something. I'll be like, you lying. And they know they lying. They don't own nothing. And if you're dealing with real estate and investment, you use your own money. If I say I'm going to write a book, which I've been written over 15 books, I use my own money. I have my own publishing company. I don't have to try to raise no money to write no book. I use my own money. And then I put the book out there. And then I let my people get it for pennies of the dollar. It's packed with wisdom. So, as I close, our own people do this to us. Research what I'm telling y'all and then come back to me and see if I'm saying something that's hateful. I'm warning you not to deal with these things. I don't care if nobody talk with those soft cannonists like a lot of those Nation of Islam brothers do. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn how they talk with that little soft cannons that they do, but I bet you they won't come on my page because they know who I am and I fly out to wherever the hell they are. My muftis know I did. You can go on my YouTube page with the one brother in jail right now. Hell, I say his name. The Negro name was Polite. And he jumped in my inbox one day, brother, I can show you how to do this. I said, nigga, you can't show me how to do nothing. He was like, well, I'm in Vegas. I said, I'll fly in Vegas. I'll see you tonight. I'm live. You can go on my YouTube page and see it. This fool riding past me 100 times because you know you a liar. You ain't taught nobody a damn thing. I know fake money. Just because you got some designer clothes don't mean nothing. And look at what all these people are at now. In jail. In jail. All of them. All the sovereign citizens. All the ones that said they can do this and they in this real estate. Look at them. They all in jail. Or they reinvented themselves and they doing something else. Like the Black Wall Street. They all tried to come get together, but them niggas couldn't even agree how to scam you. And so they all broke apart. And then people be caught up, well, the brother was this, like the Nation of Islam brother. Well, he was this and that and the other, and I didn't think he knew what he was doing. Well, what the hell should you be promulgating something that your stupid ass don't know what you're doing? Little boy. Excuse my candor. Little boy. And then hide behind the nation. And then hide behind the Nation of Islam. That's what I be telling people. I said, man, misnomer black people are some of the most stupidest and some of the most forgiving people. But when a European do it to you, oh, we should hang and we on this. But a Negro doing it right now. And they continue to do it because they think y'all stupid. They don't own no land. You can't sit on your ass and make no whole bunch of money and buy somebody program. That's a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. That's like multi-level marketing. I bet you they won't come on my page with it. Because the young brother from the Nation of Islam came on my page and he was quiet as hell. He couldn't say nothing. I was waiting for him to say something. I'll fly right out to where your city. That Negro got his line ass on the internet and went to Home Depot and bought a damn tool shed and a hard hat with these big ass scissors and had a ribbon cutting. Talk about these some never ever farms. Where the fucking never farms at, y'all? Excuse my candor. Where is the never farms at? I'll wait. Where are they? They got on the internet and did all this big presentation with the lady and with the other brother talk about they got 400 acres. Where it's at? Where it's at? All smoke and mirrors. I told y'all, and they only do this stuff to black people. Just like the brother in Atlanta with all that stuff. Oh yeah, I got out of prison and I did this. Man, I'm not dealing with no Negro out of prison that came back and reinvented himself as a liar, that don't have his own money, and ain't dealing with people in the real. And now this Negro done ran the church, and the church accepted the lie Negro, and now you in the church with a whole bunch of dumb religious black people doing the same thing. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? My people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. Any questions, man? I'm out of here, man. This is too simple. Nobody on the internet, if they really doing something, they should prove it. Tell them to open up their portfolio. I can't guarantee nothing on your ROI, your return on an investment. I can't guarantee you nothing. Everything that you deal with is an assumption of risk. These people be lying. Oh, I'm going to give you 30, 40% returns on you. A liar. You don't have it. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors. Don't y'all know how much it costs to have a Lamborghini and a mansion? You ain't got nothing but bills. And you got to keep that scam going on because those bills coming in each month. All those brothers and sisters talk about they got this, what is it, Donald Trump playing all that bullshit and all that crap when COVID happened. Where they at now? They played on people's emotions because people was out of work and they were sitting at home and they knew the average black person was stupid. They knew the average black person would throw a couple dollars at something if you gave them an analogy and then losing like you had something. And what black people think is they can throw a couple dollars at something, but every Negro lost with all them fake testimonies. I can show you how to get fake testimonies from people. It's called payola. And I can show you the website them Negroes be going on. Look at them now. They still doing the same thing. Got Negroes going around talking about they showing you how to think. But what's your real profession? Where are your real businesses? What do you do? Just admit that you're a motivational speaker. And then I say, okay, you just a motivational speaker. But you don't have no special power, no special gift to make nobody no damn money. Stop lying. More science, all this stuff became popular during COVID. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. Nobody wasn't talking about this science like this until COVID happened, until all these internet gurus came out during COVID. These is facts. And now today, look at it now. And I tell y'all, go on JT Pocket Watchers and pull up all those fake Ponzi scheme dudes. Pull up the Black Wall Street. Pull up that brother from the Nation of Islam when JT asking him all these questions and all that, and the Negro looking all stupid in the face, acting like he don't know. And you know you defrauded your people. You know you defrauded your people. I never get on there and lie like I got these degrees and you from the Nation of Islam. You gonna get on there with a fake ass graduation cap, talk about you went to this stupid ass school in Nigeria and got a master's degree in Christian education and a master's degree in business. And I tell you to your face, which I done a plethora of times, that you a damn liar and ain't no truth in you. You a liar. See? And we only do that to our people. So with that being said, man, I love y'all. Continue to stay motivated. Continue to research. And if y'all need anything, you have my information. My email is Goodman, GOODMAN, Khary, KHARY @gmail.com. If you like to give a donation, I use Cash App, $KGBay. Email me. Whatever you donated, I will give you some literature. I at least give you copies of my books. And if you're really serious about anything, my office number is 602-473-8767. Hit me up. Stay in contact, man. We about to do some powerful things in the real world. And I want all my brothers and sisters to be a part of it. I don't care what your spiritual or your religious background. You don't have to be a part of no Morris Science Temple or no group to deal with me. I have my own temple in school, which is the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple in School. And I have a group of brothers from all plethoras of background. I deal with people in real life. I have real donors. And I'm opening my doors to all my brothers and sisters. We can do something in real life. We can do something in real life, y'all. And so I challenge y'all. I gave my number. I gave my email. Hit me up. 602-473-8767. That's my office number. A lot of times I don't answer it. If you leave a text or a message, I will get back with you. I'm traveling. I'm getting ready to travel in the morning to go back to my home state and buy a whole bunch of land in my community. I'm getting ready to go back and lecture to a lot of places where I should be lecturing with my own people. I'm getting ready to go on this European Lady podcast and teach what I've been teaching about history and civics and white by law. I'm getting ready to deal with a PR person. I've been asking my brothers and sisters to help me do what I'm doing because I'd rather sit and don't give my knowledge away to a person just for them to make money. I want my own people to create something. I'm trying to help one of my brothers create their own podcast, and it's happening now. I'm getting ready to be interviewed by a news station. I'm getting ready to be interviewed by the newspaper. And we can be doing this in our own community, in our own society. Everybody got their Instagram pages and their YouTube pages. Take advantage of me. Use me. I have a full library. I will give you the books and things for a fraction of the price it's going to cost you on Amazon. I've showed you this a plethora of times. Please come to Sunday school. Please come to Adapt class. We have Sunday school every Sunday at 10:30. Adapt class, excuse me, every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. AZ time zone. What you say, born and raised from Detroit, Michigan. I have something I'm working on so we can definitely collaborate. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I'm getting ready to be back in Detroit. My homie stayed in Detroit in Southfield. I'm getting ready to be back home, brother, for about 15 days. I travel on my own dime. On my own dime. I've done lectures in the city of Flint. It's more in Detroit all over, but you got to be right. So please, I have a Adapt class every Saturday at 10:30. I have Sunday school every Sunday at 2 p.m. AZ time zone. We have book club every single Friday at 7 p.m. We work out live on our YouTube page every morning, Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. So I'm willing to link up with my brothers. Let's link up. Let's come from out our highways or hide, acting like you got some on your own, which you cannot. Let's put our resources together. Let's become a conglomerate. Even in Detroit, all those big brownstones, all those big houses I'll be all in Detroit, all abandoned. All those big brick places. We need our own place so we can help our brothers that's getting out of prison. We need our own place for our sisters so we can teach them who they are. We need our own structure because science starts in a community, starts in the makeshift churches, per se, the temples, and our homes. And I show people how to put our dollars together and buy our own neighborhood back, brick by brick, just like my Mexican friends do. They find a neighborhood and they buy it. I know too many misnomer Mexicans that fix houses. All of them will stay at one house, fix it up, then go to the next one, fix it up, go to the next one, fix it up. My misnomer Mexican homeboy, they own 15 houses now in the city of Flint. In the city of Flint. In the city of Flint, I'm telling you. And I do this back in my home state, in Flint, Michigan. I say, man, this is not hard. We got enough pennies to do this. You can go right to Land Bank and do this. And if you have your organization set up the right way, a lot of stuff will be given to you. I know what I'm talking about because I do this. So I love y'all, man. Peace. Y'all got my information, my email. Please hit me up. Please support us with small donations if you have it on your heart. If you don't, I understand. But it's Cash App $KG Bay. If you give a donation, I'll give you literature. If any books that you're looking for, research them, and I'll let you know if I have them, which I'm sure I do. And I'll let you get them for a small price. And if you want them binded and printed, my sister company, which is bindedbooks.com, they will print and bind the book for you, just like this. Or you can go to Office Max Staples, and they will print and bind the book for you. So once again, I have a plethora of expensive books and manuscripts. So I love y'all, man. Stay prayed up. Keep your mind right. And if anything that you want to know, if anything that you want to learn, if you're confused over anything, don't make a move first. Come ask, for you can know for yourself. So you can research and you can go ask the right question. I love y'all, man, and peace.